So I got a message in my DM, and this person was concerned about the way that I talk about Black people. And it kind of insinuated that as a Black person, I think that I am better than other Black people. And I put myself in a special category of Black.
You think you're better than me?
I thought that was a very interesting comment, so let's talk about it. No, I don't think that I am better than Black people. I don't think that I'm better than anyone. But
wait for it!
what I do see is that not every culture is the same. And, when I think about Black culture, the Black culture of my grandparents' generation is very different than the Black culture of this generation. And in some ways, there are things that, just because of time, we can look at and say, wow, like my grandparents didn't have this, and this is so cool that we have this today. That makes, things better to some degree. But when I think about the mental health of my grandparents' generation, or the way that they saw the world, the way that they saw themselves, what they thought was possible, work ethic, their proximity to religion and to God, and their desire to worship, family values. I don't think that those cultures really are the same. When I look at abortion rates or marriage rates and how people viewed the family, the cultures are not the same.
She's got a point.
When I look at what's happening in, the Black community today and things like that we don't address, I do want to say something about it. Not because I think as a Black person, I am better than. I spent, like the first 15 years of my life, like deeply in Black culture before we moved out of that, that specific area. But it's not about being better than, it's about calling out the things that are prohibiting the human flourishing of a people group. And that's what's happening. Blacks are not flourishing, especially when we look at the larger Black community, even though we do see, great strides in education and in wealth development and things like that. There are a lot of ways in which the Black community really needs to be called out on some things. It's a culture issue.
What you talking about, Willis?
And so that's where I put my identity as in, a Christ follower. I want my culture not necessarily to be Black culture, but to be a kingdom culture, a culture that is steeped in Christianity, that follows Christ. But I do think that culture speaks a lot into what we're seeing today. I believe that the culture of the West is better than the culture of the East. It is much, much better. When I think of the culture of Christianity, I think the culture of Christianity is better than the culture of Islam. And so when I think about, how do I want to live my life? What do I want to aspire to? Where do I want my values to come from? That isn't a, well, these Blacks are bad and wrong and I'm better than them. It's just that my values don't come primarily from the Black culture. My values come from a Christian culture, and that Christian culture is very different than the Black ratchet culture of someone twerking on top of a car or offering somebody to smack down in front of a Spirit Airlines. There's a lot of things that we're seeing that need to be called out in Black culture, and many people, including many Black pastors, are not doing it. And so if that makes you think that I am saying that I am better than, Black people, you can believe that if you want to. Like, it doesn't bother me. I could not care less what you think.
Oh, nobody cares.
But I want to clarify that as Christians, our culture actually stands out. And because our culture stands out, because we are not living according to the ways of the world, people are going to say things. People are going to think that, well, you think you're better than me, or you don't never see the good in things. That's not true. Christians do see the good in things. Christians aren't just standing around like looking down their noses at people. We are hoping and wishing that people would, and praying that people would actually understand that the Christian way of life does offer values that Islam won't offer you, that ratchet hood culture won't offer you, that, Hindu and Buddhist cultures won't offer you. And so, yeah, but I don't think it's about being better than. I think it's a difference in culture. And yes, I do believe my culture is better.
Now that's something to think about.
Hey, if you enjoyed this content, come check out the Center for Biblical Unity. Download our free ebook, Is Christianity a White Man's Religion? Click on the link in the description below.